Okay, so here's the finished product. Basically what I have is what I showed you earlier in the video, the computer power supply. I just mounted everything on a piece of plastic and mounted the plastic to the box. So here's your servo tester controller. That's by turning the knob here, it allows you to vary the current. One thing I didn't show you before is, and didn't talk about, is that you can also come off the 12 volt 14.5 amp line with just two plugs, or a plug, whatever plug you use for your LiPo battery charger, and you can then power your LiPo battery charger off of this as well. So you have a power supply for your battery charger and a power supply slash control for your hot wire cutting tools. So there's the switch I showed you. There's the banana clips that are connected to the brushed speed controller, which is inside. It's wired up inside the box. And then these two are also on that same yellow and black wire, but they don't go through this circuit. They're just separate to themselves to give you another port to power your LiPo battery charger. So that's the finished unit. I know earlier in the video I had talked about wiring up this this amp gauge, and I had kind of thought I was going to just put the amp gauge in here. I opted against it simply because that is, if you look at this gauge, it goes from 30, 60. The maximum this will put out is about 14 amps. So it barely wiggles the needle even when it's wide open. So that was kind of a oversight on my part, thinking that that would be useful, but seriously, you can barely tell. It doesn't do you any good. It doesn't tell you, like, I turn the knob, I get so many amps. It just barely wiggles. So it's basically was not useful for the project, so I left it out. I am going to show you how it works here. This is plugged into an AC outlet, and you can see when it has power, there's a little light on the box that shows you that it's powered up. At this point, these two have a full 12 volts and 14 amps available. These two are controlled, the voltage is varied through this system. So I'm going to show you a couple of tools. This is I'm going to zoom out a little bit maybe. Let's see. This is a bow, and I'm going to show you how to make a bow similar to this. Actually, a better one that I have kind of thought up, but this is the one we're going to use for now. Plug that in to this end. I've got a positive and negative shown here, but for hot wire cutting, there is no positive and negative. Or there is, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so now that's connected, and I hit my switch. You can see I am now powered to here. I'm letting things warm up a little bit. Show you. Let's see. Right now it's not cutting because it's it's not getting enough voltage or amperage, current, wattage, whatever you want to, any one of those three. Now I've probably got it too hot, so I'm going to back it off just a little, and I'll show you how this bow works. there you go, you can see how that does. And we're going to do a tool change. Now this one, as I will go over in another video that I've started to make on the tools themselves, this one is a very heavy gauge. It's nice because it's stiff, you can carve with it, but it's also right on the max and wattage wise of what this power supply can put out. So it's a little tricky. It will pop the breaker in it if you try to get too aggressive or try to get too much heat. So you really got to sneak up on it. Alright. I don't think you can hear it in the video, but there is a little slight hum in the system when it starts getting close to the max that it'll put out. So that kind of tells me what I can do. So this one is nice because it is the same size as a servo, and I just did that really sloppily, but you can see how it can cut a pocket. And I also have a base here, same deal, so that it'll only go the depth of the servo, and then you just run it across like that. I would have showed this one, but the plug is backwards, so I have to fix that. So that's the system in action. In the next video or two, I'll also show I will also show this bow. Actually, not this bow, but I'm going to make a different bow and show you the gravity feed system, and I'll cut some wing cores. So that kind of concludes this video, and like I said, I've got a couple of videos coming up in the works. I got the one on making a tool. I made a tool similar to this one, just to show you quickly how that's done. And like I say, that's pretty much it for this video, and just watch for the next one that I'll have out here pretty soon. Thanks again for watching.